Hey everybody, it's the last Robokai here. It is time for the finale of Dawn of War Winter Assault, and by that I mean there's just nothing else to kill after this. We will have killed everyone in every single mission possible. Which means Krull, as the world leader, as the Khorne worshipper, gets the last statement on that, and that statement is blood, and possibly also your eyeballs. And joining me, as always, is Cool Guy.
Please, it's definitely going to have eyeballs. Like, I feel like we need to make a super cut of, you know, like this, like 5 missions we've had with him, and probably about 36 references to eyeballs he's made.
Yeah, the only thing that will stop me from doing that is I just don't like being anywhere near Krull.
No,
I'm normally a Khorne boy.
I feel like the point has been made very articulately without us doing something like that.
And unfortunately, very unfortunately, the Chaos campaign is, the Disorder campaign, Chaos side, I should say, is not going to go quietly into the night. It's going to continue to be on its BS, and you will all see it as right now we get stuck straight in.
Blood for the blood god! 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 But we need more sacrifices! Herd the imperial lambs to the slaughter! Bring Khorne his fill, or I'll wring what I need from your broken bodies! More sacrifices! More death! More glorious carnage! The Psychers are under my thrall. I will use them to lure Imperial guardsmen to the blood pit for sacrifice. And with their blood, the Titan will be mine.
Yeah, everybody loved this mechanic the first time. I totally didn't spend almost half an hour bitching about exactly this forever.
God, that's a gurgling sound though. Like, props to the sound people.
I mean, no, the sound people definitely outdid themselves.
So yeah, the mission plays out pretty much similar to the Eldar and the Imperial Guard versions. We are in control of the Titan. We are we are basically large and in charge of it, and enemies are going to come at us. There are 5 points of assault the enemy can take on us, two of which are completely unguarded by listening posts or turrets, and sort of drive directly into the middle of your base where you're going to be wanting to build your power generators. But the big thing about this is yes, we're doing this. We're back on our stealing guardsmen bullshit. We're back to doing this horrible mechanic. But there are some differences though, and they're not too bad. The first one is that the enemy doesn't seem to target or even damage the Imperial guardsmen when you capture them. Like, they don't now die to everybody shooting at them and things like that.
That's comforting, at least.
Yeah, and the Psycho has a really rapid regeneration rate on its health, so you can basically run him in solo to these lesser defended positions. Like, those 3 locations are not very hugely defended, and you can just yoink some Imperial guardsmen and run them back. And so long as they don't get hooked up on a fight that's happening, because there's still the possibility of losing them by way of just their pathing fucking up, and I guess they just die or something. Because it happens to me once in this mission. It's just a bunch of Imperial guardsmen I'm taking through an area, and are not getting killed or anything. They just sort of vanish, and the game doesn't count them.
What happened in mission 3 is that if they got too far away from the Chaos Sorcerer, they would revert back to back to imperial or AI control. The problem is that the AI frequently didn't know what to do with them, and I believe there was some sort of pathing error with regard to what the AI was attempting to tell them to do.
Yeah.
And they usually, if you run into multiple errors with something like that, you just delete the thing and give up. Like it's not worth screwing with it.
It is worth mentioning as well, when the game talks about squads without sergeants, they can never have a sergeant in them. So a sergeant may die, because frequently sergeants in a squad will die first. But if they've ever had a sergeant in them, you cannot take them. It's very specific enemies that you have to mind control. Like, straight up.
The entire hate monologue from the video game version of I have no mouth and I must scream is running through my head right now. If you're in our Discord, you've definitely heard me recite it once or twice, so I won't bother it for people here, but rest assured, Harlan Ellison lives on in my mind right now.
Yeah, I would like to remind everybody, there will be an event later on which will make you go, why did he do that? I would like to remind everybody I was playing this at about 11 PM on a Tuesday night.
Just super tired.
I was just like, I want to do it. I want to play it. I want to record all this footage. Here I go. So we're gonna get fairly commonly attacked by the enemy, pretty much from all directions. They aren't initially going to come from the sides, but eventually they will basically set us up for that sort of misery.
Of course they will.
Quickly. The thing about the Dawn of War waves is about escalation. Like it starts out like a couple of here we go. See, they're already doing it, but it was like a squad, and they did fall to the. It looks like they fell to the guns of the relic turret. God, it's not a bad mission compared to, I would say, like, probably the mission I dislike the most out of all four of them is probably the Eldar one. I might have said during the Eldar one that the Chaos version was the worst, but having actually played it again, I've realized it's not actually nearly as bad. The Eldar one is very oppressive, and you're on like a very long cooldown timer, etc., etc. You're gonna see Chaos once it gets going doesn't really have to worry so much about all that stuff. All the misery of like the first 4 missions, particularly the first 3 missions for for Chaos. Although I don't even think you play as Chaos in the first mission, so it's probably more like 2. Man, how bad is it though when you're barely even in your you're barely even in your own campaign as the Disorder faction, and your entire existence is being pranked by Gorguts.
Like everybody needs to like what's that one quote from Willie Shakes on As You Like It. Hang on, I'm looking it up to make sure I get it right. It's all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At some point, you're going to end up playing the Fool. The reality of the situation is just that Krull ends up playing the Fool for 4 acts instead of, 5.
Yeah,
or
so
1.
After a brief warm-up period, they deploy. They open up essentially the weapons depot there. So now we're going to be getting attacked by Leman Russes, and maybe some Hellhounds. And the depot itself is guarded by a Baneblade. I don't think the Baneblade leaves the base, thankfully. But it does mean we're gonna be suiciding a lot of Predators on that guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is that truly a thankful thing? Because if it actually attacked your base, you could use missile-bearing turrets to dismantle it.
I think it outranges most of the missile-bearing turrets.
That's entirely possible, actually.
The main gun basically just like kills everything from like firmly nestled in the fog of war. You're just like, what are you doing over there? You're like squinting, okay. And then like your entire fucking base explodes, and you're like, that's right. So me being incredibly tired, for some reason thought that this base was where the depot was, and so rather than like collecting the guardsmen like you're supposed to, I managed to start killing everybody instead.
Butcher them.
Which is really funny because I was like, oh shit, what happens if I just like killed all these bases and didn't get any of the guardsmen? Is there a failure state? By Krull. And the funny thing is, I actually discovered they have got something set up. I think it is anyway. I'm gonna have to double check it from when it happens to actually make sure that you can't failure state yourself by just like corning your way over the top of everybody. It's kind of funny how it does it.
Like, please, like, I am wrapped in the way that this has managed to out-design, like, 90s era Sierra games with all of their dead man walking scenarios.
Yeah, like, just, like, well, you'll see it. You'll see it eventually.
Okay.
Because after a certain point, we will wipe out all the bases. Once you get about 4 sacrifices in the pipe, that's when the Necrons turn up. And the Necrons turning up is actually a lot funnier than you might think as well.
I mean, it tends to be hysterical in most situations. Like, I think the only time it wasn't kind of like a giant joke was in the Eldar one, because the gimmick the Eldar had for it was just so completely inappropriate because the Eldar were just sort of jamming a whole bunch of power through Imperial circuits with no bloody idea how it works.
Yeah, I was like, oh. I guess I can't take that guy. All right. They had a sergeant, so. I think it was when I realized that what I'd done. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, can I grab these guys? No. Okay, I'm out. So yeah, the Leman Russ has turned up and has begun shooting my shit. I'm gonna notice in a few seconds. But you can sort of see that little red dot there, and occasionally you'll hear bang on the generator. He's just like,
damn it, Bobby, you can't be shelling me from in the fog of war. Boy, you ain't right.
God damn it, my power. And of course, I don't have the Chaos munitions upgrade yet, so we're gonna be losing a lot of predators. So I'm going to pull out the.
God, it's so ridiculous how worthless Chaos predators are before that munitions upgrade.
Yeah, and then it's
so
like a
bad.
hellhound turns up, and it's just like, oh come on, seriously, haven't I suffered enough? But this guy moved into missile range, so at the very least, he can be counted.
Seriously, might as well just have pink horrors instead of predators prior to that. So pathetic.
I honestly just thought I had more time to build it, so when it actually happened, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I better get the boys out.
That's what you were like. You just blew a raspberry.
Yeah, pink horrors are kind of weird. I wanted to say this. I was thinking about pink horrors are kind of weird in terms of how they're always implemented in video games. Because the official lore for them is like, you cut down a pink horror, 2 blue horrors fall out.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that you've got like the pink horrors who are like sort of malicious, sort of targeted sort of pranksters, whereas the blue horrors are more like extremely excited children who have no moral compass. So it's like you cut down a pink horror and like something less lethal but like more troublesome falls out.
I feel like they did that in Chaos Gate, like the 90s game. I might be remembering that wrong, but I
think you might be correct, because I feel like there was a time when it did happen, but I can't remember.
Yeah, hang on. I'm actually going to look that up real quick.
Yeah, because in Total War Warhammer 3, they are separate units. They are separate concepts. You've got the pink horror units and you've got the blue horror units. And I can't recall. I'm trying to think of any other time there've been games with them in it, but that may be it. Maybe just Chaos Gate, Dawn of War, and because they never appeared in any of the other Dawn of War games.
Yeah, they
Total
definitely
War Warhammer
don't.
3.
And Chaos Gate is not well documented enough for it to immediately show up on Google, which is not terribly surprising, honestly.
That is a game I spent a lot of time with.
By the way, before people ask us to let's play it or something, I think everybody needs to understand. Yes, Chaos Gate is playable on Windows 10 through the GOG version, but I think everybody needs to understand how fucking long that game drags on.
It's a very clunky game too. It's like
Yeah.
it's basically got a slow responding, like a slow responsive version of like the original XCOM's UI.
Yeah,
Like you press a button and you give an order, and it like there's like a lag before they actually do it. Like it's kind of wild.
It would be awful to Let's Play. Don't ask.
If you want to ask if I'm gonna be probably playing the new Chaos Gate that's coming out, I can guarantee you
Hell
if
yes!
I enjoy it, I will probably do something with that.
For sure, like the old game would be terrible to Let's Play. Like the best you could hope for is that we do a stream of it at some point. But even that is just like seriously do not count on that because it's like you can play it on Windows 10. But just like capturing it is an entirely different question, and you know streaming it would be awful after about the first stream. Like people get it after the first like 4 hours and they're just like, okay, so this is just the same thing for the next 60. I'm not watching that, and you're correct to do so.
But you get to hear someone go, "Come to chaos," and then explode like a pimple when you shoot them.
Oh man, like the way the chaos cultists blow up in that game is never not funny. Like I will say, I beat the game basically on the strength of shooting chaos cultists because it was always hysterical.
Yeah, I really liked the original Chaos Gate. It was a fantastic game. When I heard they were doing like a similar sort of concept, only with like the Grey Knights, I was like, yeah, actually, that's a really good idea.
It's a great idea.
Because it's like it's the formula of you're basically an isolated unit of Astartes. You're off having to deal with some sort of crisis. You're traveling from place to place to deal with it, and you've got limited resources. Like you're rebuilding what you've got. You're scavenging on site, recovering artifacts. And Chaos Gate was kind of cool because it did have a few weird overarching narratives. Like in one particular mission where you assault a Chaos stronghold, one of your Marines, and keeping in mind you only you start with a full company, like a full I think it's like a full 100.
I think it's a full 100 dudes, but
and they all got names and they all got everything, and one of them gets kidnapped. Like when one dies, they're dead forever. By the by.
Yep.
So you have to be very careful, and you'll be shuffling guys around, and some dudes will be wounded, so they'll be out of action. So it's like you'll have these squads, and you'll sort of form bonds with it, everything like that, and they give you just enough time to sort of get that sense. And then just during a mission, like one of your dudes gets like kidnapped. And you don't see them again for like a very long period of time, and then you finally get a rescue mission for them, and it's just like, holy shit! Like I loved that.
Yeah, you want to know the dumbest thing? I was so mad that guy got kidnapped one of the first times that I was playing. I actually went back to the loadout screen, and I set up a specific loadout because the trigger for that, for somebody get it for the Space Marine that gets kidnapped. There's a Chaos Stronghold, which is like actually a stronghold, like it's a walled stronghold.
Oh yeah, it's a great mission. It's a great mission for assault.
The first Marine that approaches the walls gets kidnapped, and there's nothing you can do about it. There basically a couple of Chaos Marines show up and go, "Your soul is mine," and they just whisk off with your Marine, right?
It's unavoidable.
Unavoidable, except for if you equip people with a bunch of missile launchers, specifically with crack missiles. Missile launchers have sufficient range that if you screw around with it just enough, you can whittle out all of the chaos and beat the level without having somebody get kidnapped. And then the entire game crashes during the rescue mission.
Yep.
I fucked over my entire campaign by doing the stupid human trick of wasting I used probably about a dozen crack missiles,
that's
which
so
was
great. That's
Which
fucking
is-
amazing. You
Oh,
wasted
dude.
so many resources.
So, like, I used about a dozen crack missiles to get it done, which is a huge investment, by the way.
Your supplies are very limited starting out in that game. It takes a lot to sort of like you're scavenging. You scavenge crates and
do.
stuff to get more ammo for your bolters and shit like that. Like
I ran out of heavy bolter ammo in this game. All right, I ran out of heavy bolter ammo.
it is such an amazingly intense like management simulator for like managing like a cut-off company of space marines, and it's like, but at the same time it can be very slow, drawn out, and tedious. But like for actually playing it though, and the narratives you create for yourself, it's a fantastic game, and I'm kind of hoping we'll get a similar sort of thing from the Demon Gate one.
I'm really hoping so as well. Like basically, what you should take away from this particular derail of ours, right, is.
Yeah.
If you are at all a fan of either XCOM or Warhammer 40k, you owe it to yourself to go to GOG and pick up Chaos Gate. Like, at least try it, all right? Because to play the game is incredible. It really, really is. You are super into it. There's so many things that are going on, and it's just stellar, just absolutely stellar. To watch it, you'd be wondering what your favorite VTuber is doing in 15 minutes. Like, I'm sorry, like the game will not keep your interest.
My favorite VTuber is Krull. He falls on weird times. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck ever. Everyone who like comes from this building teleports anyway. Let's just build it over here. I don't care anymore. It's like, I've got no more room in my base. I probably should just build generators out here because the enemy can't do anything about it. It's just like, whatever. I give up.
They're definitely not scripted to go over there.
I'll never. It's just like, move your entire base, which is something most people will know I will frequently do when playing Dawn of War multiplayer against me. It's like, it's really funny when someone wipes my base out and they go, "Why hasn't he disappeared?"
Yeah.
And then like marching out of the mist comes like my main force like 5 minutes later, and everyone's just like, "What the?" I saw it coming, so I just like went off and built another base elsewhere.
I really wish the RTS game Ruse was a better game, because you would have been incredible at Ruse. But it's not a very good game. It's just not.
Everyone just like, "Oh, we finally got him," and it's just like an entire town made out of cardboard cutouts, and it's just like, this is the 5th time. Where is he?
You joke, but that was supposed to be like one of the primary things that Ruse was all about. The problem was that none of the ruses were strong enough to make them worth building over just another unit.
Here's me going hard. I'm just like, fuck it. I'll regen through this.
I love those Casterkins. They're just like, why won't he die? Like, this is ridiculous.
He got dudes to bring, which is honestly kind of like, you know, almost doesn't happen. I think is, yeah. See, even the las cannon would outrange a missile launcher. That's not even like the main cannon. He's like bullying my predator with. He was just like side. He was just like side. Yeah, sponsons. He was just like side glancing at me and killing me.
Frickin' Baneblades, man. Frickin' Baneblades.
Yeah, Baneblades are definitely a problem. But there we go.
Oh yeah, there it is.
I put even further away there, and he just went, "No, you're not leaving," and just like turned and gave me the boops. So at this point, I'm like, I think I set a rally point for them to just keep driving up to die, because there's no one there repairing the Baneblade. So eventually it'll die, right? Or eventually I'll like stop screwing around.
You're basically the commander equivalent of Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It don't matter. None of this matters.
Khorne cares not from whence the blood flows. So, like, you know, I'm flowing him out of my own armor. Sort of parked here, so if any more Cassicans want to walk out and start shooting my Psyker up a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out real well for them.
Yeah, but of course, like I said, the Psyker has remarkably good health regen. Right.
I was surprised at how resilient he was against like an entire squad of Casterkins deciding
Pretty sure
that he
he
specifically needed to
respawns
die.
if he dies as well. So there's like no downside to just running him in and getting like and grabbing someone and leaving.
The weak fight back.
He's just like, yep, there you
Good
go.
lord.
See, no one's
That's
shooting
ridiculous. I'm fine with it though. Like this mechanic is utterly terrible. So anything they want to do to make it a little bit more bullshit is fine.
at him. Yeah, the thing that always sort of gets me with it is I wonder like, because obviously that's not how it works in Mission 3. They will turn on the guardsmen who you capture. They can get damaged. Things like that happen. I can only assume there was something in all the triggers they'd already set up, because obviously, like, you can't just... Like, there would probably be a maximum number of, like, different triggers they could set up for this, right? So, and different ways they could set it up without the game, like, just completely crashing. So I would assume there was something about Mission 3 and the way it behaved that they just couldn't do that with, like, selecting the guardsman that time. It's kind of weird to say, but
We would have to get an original developer to confirm it. Like my gut is even dumber than that. Like my gut would simply be that setting up all of those triggers took time, and through their experience doing it the first time, they realized that didn't really add that much to the experience, and perhaps even took away from it, so they just didn't bother. There's been a recent meme going around Twitter that every so often there's a particular sentence of that really describes the experience that software engineers have programmers have. And the most recent one is the programmer's credo. We do these things not because we were easy. We do these things not because it is easy, but because we thought it was going to be easy. Which is
that's very apt.
Super real. I'm a man who has been developing software for 20 years of my life. More years of my life than I have not been developing software. And that is super real. Like, just incredibly real. And what I'm going to tell you is that I'm feeling a little bit of that. Like, they thought that entire thing was going to be easy and it was going to be cool, it was going to be fun, and they learned it wasn't, so they just didn't do it next time.
Yeah, actually, I was watching there's a channel, I can't remember the full name of it, but they're basically like they call them like the thing no clip documentaries, I think is what it's called. And they did one on the people that made the Black Mesa remakes of Half-Life.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting watching that and listening to them talk about how they took something that already existed, but had some very well-known flaws, Half-Life.
Right.
And particularly with Zen, the sheer number, because it took like about I think 16 years to like fully complete this project that started out as a mod and then became like a full product.
Yep.
And it was just kind of like the amount of times that they would take something and go, we're overthinking this, we're overdoing this, we're adding too much shit. Like we thought we added this thing because we thought it would be neat and fun, but now it's like we're taping so much shit to it. Like the fact that they were able to constantly be able to like notice and pull back from the abyss of over designing was really impressive to me.
It is one of the
He has
hardest
one health.
skills.
He has one health. I want everyone to see that guy. He has one
that
health.
That homeboy is made of steel. One health is steel.
I did not see that. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, it is one of the hardest skills to develop as a programmer, right? Because on one hand you are supposed to be constantly designing towards the goal and towards the problem, and all of that is incredibly important because that's your overall goal. But as you start developing a number of these things, and you start pouring dozens or perhaps even hundreds of hours of your existence into it, you get emotionally attached to it. And one particular exercise that I know that they make artists do in college, by which I mean like if you major in any kind of fine art, painting, sculpting, anything like that, one of the most famous things that they force you to do is they force you to create a work of art, and then they force you to destroy it. They force you to take a knife to your painting, a hammer to your sculpture, something like that. Because the lesson that they need to teach you is that all of these things are important. They represent a lot of your thought, and yes, in that way, they represent your soul, if you will. But they are also for the benefit of whomever your client is and whomever, whatever you're doing in the world, right? It doesn't belong to you. So you have to learn to let go. They never do something like that with programmers, and effectively, what they ought to do is force you to create some senior project or whatever, something that you spend at least a month making, and then they just say, okay, now everybody delete it. No, actually delete it. Fuck it up, delete it, because nobody will ever think of this again. It is gone to the digital dust. All of that part of your life was wrong. All right, just get fucking used to that, because that's going to happen a lot in your professional life.
There are a lot of programmers out there just crying right now, but at the same time going, "He's right," and it sucks.
Yeah, dude, I have had actual thousands of hours of my life completely preempted by random acts of management, because they didn't know what they wanted, and they said, hey, go do this thing before I know what I want, right? It just is what it is. It is what it is. It bloody happens. And you gotta learn to let go. And it's one of the things that, particularly with the Black Mesa project, I didn't follow it very closely, but they had basically public issue tracking and everything, and I would occasionally get snippets of what they were talking about in there, and their willingness to let go there. That's what made me confident that project would eventually succeed, because that level of professionalism is super hard to come by.
Pretty sure we should be getting ourselves into trouble with the Necrons shortly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's 4 out of 6 guardsmen
4 out of
sacrificed.
6. I'm pretty sure it's 4 out of 6. There we go.
There it is.
What is this? Necrons? Here? It seems the universe itself conspires to rob me of my prize. Enough. Attention, followers of Khorne! Repel the invaders. Protect the Titan until the vermin sorceress complete his possession. Only with the Titan can we best our foes. Not even the gods will stand in our way then.
You
So now
say
the game
that, I'm pretty sure
the game
Khorne
expects
hurt
you to be on the clock now. It's like, oh, you got the Necron slowly looming in on you, but hold on a second. How about that sneeze, actually?
Yeah.
The thing is that Chaos Forces are incredibly potent late game. And in particular, they're incredibly potent in the one space that the Necrons, particularly in the game here, lack. And that's melee.
Yep.
They're quite durable, yes, but they will not kill anything that they're not shooting at. And the game gives you free core berserkers.
And it also has given you more than enough time and resources to tech up to Possessed as well. And
yeah.
Possessed are just hell on wheels in melee.
Yeah, so now we're looking at a scenario where, yeah, the Necrons are coming, but the Necrons are actually no threat whatsoever to the forces of Chaos. Look at them.
Don't worry about it.
Like, that monolith will keep spawning dudes. And here it's kind of like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah,
Where,
yeah.
what?
They
What?
got hung up on all of that
Yeah.
big morass that you have in the middle here.
God, I love that. I love that sea of corpses, though.
What the hell?
God, I
Oh,
love it.
that's the guard against the soft fail state. The map revealer down in the bottom of the south.
No, I'm pretty sure that's more Necrons. That's more Necrons. Don't worry, you'll see. We've got to destroy the place first. There are still some guardsmen we grab. We have just enough guardsmen squads left that we can grab all the guardsmen squads and still beat the mission. But the game still spawns in something for us in that particular case. But I'm not entirely sure if they have sergeants or not, so I could be wrong. And like that's kind of what we'll have to watch out for when we get there. But it is kind of neat what the game does, and I think it does it in the name of like making sure you aren't fairly stated by being a little overexcited.
Very well, but use me wisely.
All right, calm down.
Very well.
Yeah. So after this, I'm a lot more careful. I'm like, okay. You know, I said I'm a lot more careful as I like a deep dive. Like
I was gonna say,
game.
like I'm seeing that psyker kind of melt.
He's fine.
I do appreciate that he's not actually quote unquote breaking, even though he's out of morale though.
Yeah, he's got the icon. He is broken, and he's moving faster as a result of it. So, and then I'm just like, oh fuck, no, predators,
Skip.
please. Infantry, and vehicles in Dawn of War do not path well together. Please give me
Really
my boys
don't.
back. Return my children to me.
As much as we make cat fetus jokes, like I have a lot of sympathy for whatever poor sucker got stuck with making the pathfinding algorithms for this game.
There are so many corpses. That's like, and that's the other thing that so many other games just don't capture is that corpse pile. So here we go. So the Necrons are like, okay, cool. We're gonna Necron now, but that's the problem again. Is that Chaos Predators just do excellent damage against everything when they've got their Chaos munitions.
Right.
So like they go like the autocannons start out as just being good against infantry, so they'd already be a problem for the Necrons. But now they're also good and do extra damage against armor. So it's just like,
I would put heavy quotes around the good there, but you know, like you're not wrong. Like they're supposed to be effective against infantry. And after you get that freaking armament upgrade, holy crap, they slap.
yeah, they melt things. They're really good. I like them. Like they're not going to be as powerful as anything else on the field, but they're priced accordingly. They're only like 150 requisition and like a fair bit more power, but you know, in terms of like requisition spending, that's pretty good.
For value, they are difficult to beat. I will definitely
yeah,
say
they're
that.
like they're definitely, it's like, you know, like you know, there's like, we're at the dealership and like, you know, the Chaos Forge guy just, you know, slaps the side of it and goes, this baby can fit so many of your dudes dying over and over again.
Then the Chaos Predator falls apart. You still buy it because that's what you expected anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I mean, I put chaos infused munitions in it. What did I think was going to happen?
Yeah, seriously.
That's what you wish.
So you can sort of see Crull and the Doom stack of the Doom pile of him I've created is off violently murdering an entire wall of Necrons. The two squads of Berserkers that I positioned up the top are still going.
Yeah, they are like the Berserkers in particular are a little bit like honey badgers in that they do not give a fuck.
They will never stop fighting, and it's great. They're specialist anti-infantry melee units that don't break, so the Necrons can't really do too much to them. God, there's so many. I love the corpse effect. I love corpse piles. Always set corpses to like maximum in this game.
It's one of those things that designers are always reluctant to do, simply because like when you run out of video RAM, and that's basically what you're taxing when you have huge corpse piles like this is video RAM. When you run out of video RAM, things go downhill very fast.
Yes.
If things go from fine to oh crap almost immediately. So people are always reluctant to do it, but it's such an amazing effect.
And yeah, so fun fact actually about this. You can't deploy a sorcerer, you can't build and deploy a sorcerer in this stage the Psycho replaces him, and then when the Psycho finishes the capturing, just dies. Like, and you've got a sorcerer now.
Okay.
Like, they both can't exist. And so this is kind of weird. We're basically going around capturing the Titan pieces. I guess it's an AoE because I definitely didn't click on the gun. And now it has a recharge, but there's no like bar to mark how long the recharge is gonna take. So like, yeah, good luck.
You just be chilling.
It's incredibly unintuitive. I don't know if that's just like, again, an aging thing.
Yeah, it looks like a bug.
Or like it's just a, you know, or just as some, you know, as a result of like weird interactions in files that I've installed for like mods for like Dark Crusade, because like I finished all the recording for the Dark Crusade stuff. So I installed the unification mod to check it out, and some things like changed some of the loading screens and things like that. And I'm just like, would it change? Like, I don't have the mod activated for this, so I'm always just like, would it change?
It's also worth
for
noting
you?
that both of us basically hacked the crap out of this game to make it compatible with widescreen, which has given us some issues in the past with like our mini map, because obviously,
but,
like,
I mean, you can sort of see the mini map melting down the bottom of the map space down there.
It doesn't even
so, like,
work.
You know, but hey, look, you know, like so yeah, this game has aged a bit, but like I still think it's doing pretty good. I will say the thing that sort of bothers me the most about it is mostly just like the map, and also the camera, which you can unlock and make go out further if you wanted to. I just decided to keep that authentic.
Right, we like both of us decided to keep that authentic, but like if I were to truly sit down and play this game again, it's the first mod I would install. Like literally every time I sat down to play this game, like the relative closeness of the camera bugged the crap out of me. Like I would spend about 5 minutes like trying to zoom back out before more or less convincing myself, no, that's the further it goes.
I was like, what have I got to do? I got to stand closer? Like, what's going on here? Should I just cast Doombolt instead? What's going on with my life here? Let me just capture the pieces. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm going to kill the like everything before we get there. Just like, gimme.
There it is.
Power.
I don't know. Like, did I do it? Let me try
There
it
we
again.
go. Come on. Okay.
Yeah, I
cool.
got it. It's mine. I can use it.
This entire thing just kind of reeks of a fight to the finish, simply because there's not even any like particle effect. There's no animation. It just sort of happens.
Yeah, it just does it just sort of ends.
And
so like you said, it seems like they were just trying to get it out the door by this point. And in fairness to to Relic, yeah, like their other games like Dawn of a Soulstorm released mostly just because the folks who were working on it, Iron Law, went bankrupt. So they didn't really get much of a chance to do too much with it.
One of the realities of every software project is that the day you start, you are behind schedule and over budget. Like it's just, and it partially has to do with expectations, because the number of times that a project has started with reasonable expectations can be counted on one hand, right? Like it really doesn't happen for a huge variety of reasons. I'm kind of running out of time in this video, so I'm not gonna do a deep dive into that.
Yeah,
one.
well, the best example they can always give is we can just go back to Black Mesa again, where they decided to release the initial form of Black Mesa and just not have Zen at all. They basically go, we can try and split our resources and try and make Zen, or we could just polish what we've got, put it out, and then sit down and work on Zen. And which is what they ended up doing.
And these are all technologists. These are all programmers, right? It's not just a matter of, oh, hey, individuals aren't aren't technically sophisticated enough. This happens when there's serious technical sophistication behind the helm as well, because like one of the more, what's the word I'm looking for, effective metaphors surrounding programming is hang on, I need to look it up to make sure I don't misquote it.
Power.
It's...
I see.
Oh darn it! It's not a well known enough quote that it comes off it comes up immediately on Google, but it was one of the idioms that I encountered during college, was that programmers effectively make castles in the air from air, like there. A computer program is its own universe. Nothing exists without the programmers explicitly saying, this is how it exists, and no interaction exists without them defining it and saying, this is how it's supposed to work. So, there's it is pretty much impossible. Like, none of us are gods. Like no human is God. Trying to figure out those sorts of things is insane.
The Titan is mine! Let destiny submit itself to my ambition! The universe will know the will of Khorne. Tremble! Quake! These are your final hours, Lorne 5! My reign will turn the heavens themselves crimson!
There we go. The Titan belongs to us. Did you see what just appeared on the map down there with the little thingy?
Use the advantage word. Bring them
Are you joking?
Let us examine
Yeah, and they don't have sergeants, so it's true. They just airdrop some dudes down for you if you've accidentally killed all the other spots for them.
Sure, I can definitely see that.
So there you go. That's how they solve that particular possible failure, Stu. And now I'm just going to shoot this guy because it's the last monolith.
Titan weapons online to just demolish the last survivor.
You're supposed to be killing the other ones by the skin of your teeth, but I just walked Krull and friends around the map. I just removed it. So there we
Whatever,
go.
it's fine. All right, game over. Thanks for playing, idiots.
Behold your new god! Is he not terrible to behold? From this world, I will conquer the next. And the one after that, Khorne will surely reward me for the slaughter! Know this! What will come to pass is no longer war! It is endless sacrifice in his name. Blood for the blood god! Let the universe drown in it!
I'm choosing
That's
to
it.
take it as a huge point of his maturation right at the last moment that he got through an entire monologue without mentioning eyes.
Yeah. Sadly, that character growth was not canon. We don't. There was no ending where just everyone flies into the sky and explodes for no reason.
Honestly, it's fine.
He's murdered by Gorguts. It's confirmed in Dark Crusade. Gorguts
Great.
has got his head on the trophy.
Gorguts was cooler anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Winter Assault. The last of the strictly narrative campaigns of the Dawn of War series. From here on in, it's going to be the more non-linear, flexible campaigns, which are a different sort of kettle of fish. And we will definitely be exploring those when we do Dark Crusade, because, as I've said, every single episode of the Dark Crusade Let's Play is already recorded in terms of, raw footage. So we'll be doing commentary on those soon enough, and they'll be following up fairly soon after this one. So you won't have to wait long. I would say Winter Assault, overall, particularly with the Order side, is a really good narrative story. I would say the only thing that really lets down the Disorder side is just the gameplay mechanics and the decisions, the balancing decisions for how they basically changed up the weapon loadouts for both the Greenskins and Chaos, and also the fact that at least it does seem like it's the more rushed account, in part on the fact that there are still some very odd sort of problems, such as the orcs not getting resources to use in their penultimate mission, when they've got to race against time chasing down somebody else.
At a certain point, they did update this game basically, when Sega bought these guys after Relic went under. So like there have been updates.
You mean THQ went under?
So thank you. That's what I mean to say when THQ went under. So there have been updates, so like well after this game. I feel like they refused to go back in and change a couple of initial numbers just to pretty much immortalize the suffering. So many people had suffered before you. You need to suffer in solidarity.
You think you know the meaning of the end of suffering? You know nothing.
You
know
nothing.
We give you the disorder campaign. Bum, bum, bum. It wouldn't have been right if it was just the order campaign, though. There would have been like 8 missions. Like, and that's, that's okay, I guess. But it's just like...
No.
Like, you need... Both perspectives was way more fun and way more great. And they basically follow that up with going, well, everybody seems to like really enjoy getting to play as pretty much everybody, so what do we do? And so they looked at what people were asking for quite vocally on the forums, and they went, oh, people want a non-linear paint the map game, so let's see what we can do about that. And that's where Dark Crusade and Soulstorm came about. And I'd say I remember Dark Crusade more for what it introduces in terms of the new factions and also some of the battle set pieces. But again, that's for then. I still think in general in terms of the missions, I really like the structured linear aspect of these particular missions more than like. And it's kind of weird because like I did a stream of Dawn of War 3, and you could sort of see that they were trying to do a similar thing with Dawn of War 3 and just couldn't do it. Like, they couldn't make half of it as enjoyable as it was with Dawn of War. And I think that just comes down to the gameplay mechanics of Dawn of War 3. Whereas Dawn of War 1 has very solid fundamentals from top to bottom. It knows exactly what it wants to be, knows exactly where it wants to be. And that's why going back and even like coming back like after like, the year hiatus and just sitting down and doing those missions was still a very pleasant experience. Even if I was doing the chaos buggering around, I sat down, I went, no, I really want to do this. I sat down at 10 o'clock at night after I'd finished a day of like just doing a whole bunch of other stuff and just went, well, now I want to do this. Like, I want to sit down and I want to do some recording. I'd been mopping my car. I'd been like with a mop, like mopping like a quagmire of water out of my car all day. And was just bugging it. And I still sat down and went, no, playing Dawn of War sounds like the best fucking thing right now. And so that's I think is a credit to Winter Assault, is that
Definitely.
even with its worst faction in the game, I was still chomping at the bit to get in and do some stuff. So yeah, that's my salute to Winter Assault. We will not be returning to it now. From here on in, it's Dark Crusade, and then I put a staple gun to my testicles and play Soulstorm.
Well, better you than me on Soulstorm. I never played Soulstorm, and that tells a bit of a lie. I played a couple of multiplayer engagements.
People only ever played a single player
Soulstorm,
campaign,
and that was
Soulstorm
plenty.
once.
I think it was like half a dozen LAN party missions of Soulstorm, and everybody present agreed that was enough.
Yeah, but that's a long way from now. So we'll see you all next time. I've been the Last Robo Kai.
And I have been Cool Guy.
And next time is Dark Crusade. You have yourselves a good one.